Howdy, howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I have a routine that I've been working on. I have another routine that I'm going to demonstrate for you, which is my bigger routine that I really absolutely love. This is one that I've just been working on as a way to kind of practice different moves. So here's what I want to show you. Okay, and I'm going to do my best to perform the moves, and then we're going to talk about how they're done, and then we're going to talk about how, different things that we can do with these tricks. Okay, so now the whole point of this routine is all about change. It's about transformation, whether it be about the seasons or an individual who's working on themselves, which this is, I'm not sponsored, but I do have some Stitch Fix logo right down here. Okay, because I do partake in Stitch Fix. All these box subscriptions that are out there nowadays. Okay, I'm on the go. I got 2 jobs. I do YouTube, so that's technically 3, plus I got kids, plus I've got property to take care of, all these things that I got going on. I don't have time to go out and shop, so I have them sent to me. I tell the stylers what I like, and they send them out. So again, not a paid subscription, but hey, Stitch Fix. Just like with anything, I buy your product, so I would be more than willing to sponsor for you. So just so you know. Anyway, let's get to the trick. We're just going to pick a card at random, and this is truly random. Doesn't matter how you do it. We're just going to get a nice card. We have the 9 of spades. Now, with the 9, very interesting thing here to take a look at. If you rub it just slightly, it becomes the 2. So that's the first one. So if they caught what you did there, if you caught what I did there, great, because this is a warm-up. This is just a little bit of a way for you to kind of catch on to what's going on. But of course, the 9 has returned, because why wouldn't it? We are, in fact, magic. Now, you're probably wondering, what kind of shady move did you just do there? Because the 2 has returned, but that's because I've messed up. But that's okay. That's what we do here on the channel. We're talking about this routine that I'm working on. Now we've got the 7 of hearts. What a fantastic card. Now, just like with the first one where we did a rub, this one is the second stage. This is a second transformation. This one's going to look more like something like this. You got to warm up those cards ever so slightly, and it becomes the 9. How impressive is that? Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so now we can enter the third stage. Now, the second phase actually has multiple stages to it, and I'll get back to that in a second. Now, for this one's quite interesting. So I have 2 different ways to perform it. I'm going to do it the easy way for now. You just give it a little bit of a shake, and you'll see that it becomes the ace. Now, that is impressive. Now, what would be more impressive, if I could put it into the deck, give the deck a little bit of a cut, snap my fingers, and of course, return the 9 from whence it came. Very nice. Okay, so now if you do not want to learn how to do any of these tricks, which I don't know why, all these tricks can be learned on YouTube, and way better people out there than me. So go ahead and go check them out. But we're talking about a routine here. We're talking about transformations, and you can play around with this as well. So the first phase, very simple. Okay, just select a card. Doesn't matter how you do it. You've selected a card at random. Now I'm doing a breakdown. Double lift is very important. Learn the double lift. You can check out Alex Pandrea. I can link that down below. There's a bunch of other people who do double lift tutorials. Learn the double lift. Okay, it will benefit you well. Now, here's what I've got going on here. Okay, I'm offsetting it here. This is a slight move that I learned from Jason Marr, but he did something a little bit more flashy. What I'm doing is something that is visual, that can catch the eye, but if you do it incorrectly, you'll see as I'm going over here like this, and I'm grabbing, we still have our card here. Now I'm going to put it on display. Now I can keep this here all day, but we do know that there is another card there. Okay, obviously the king goes to the queen, a little bit of a visual there, but you can keep this here all day as long as you can keep this card here. You can go into a balance, you can show what's going on here, and then you can go to here. Okay, now that is impressive. Okay, back to there. I like to do a little bit of a false cut to get some movement happening, and then we snap our fingers or whatever kind of magical gesture you want because we want to get our queen back. So magic is temporary, transformations can be forever, but we're talking about ourselves, right? We're talking about something that is constantly shifting and moving around. We always want to come back to our normal card. Now, you can count this as an ambitious card because an ambitious card can be anything. But in this case, this is more of a transformation effect. So you can take that in whatever direction you want. So now we're coming to our second phase. Now there's two ways that this can happen. Okay, we're doing a little bit of a shifty move here because after we finish our cut, which we want to finish our cut because we don't want the card to be the same every time. So after we do a little bit of a cut here, do a little bit of a spin, now we're going to grab the top card and go into a lift so that we can shoot the card here and grab it. Square it up. Now, in the performance, I didn't do this because it's a little bit harder to do that while you're performing and to keep it nice and smooth because now, boom, double lift again, we've got our queen. Now we're going into the Erd Ace. Okay, now the Erd Ace is something I'm still working on, but very important. You want to connect, and again in the performance, probably not that great, but you want to connect here. You don't want to give it the illusion as if you're sliding the card forward like this. You just want to give the illusion that you're grabbing here, okay, that you're just holding it here like this. Now what I tend to do is I tend to lean a little bit forward to get some space in there, but you don't have to do it that much. You just want the padding of your hand here just to grab like so. As you come back down, you can slow this down, you know, it's really visual. Now if you want to get real fancy, you can come up here on your fingernails because you can kind of hear that. You can open your nails a little bit. As long as you're not flashing that card, they can still see what's going on in there. But then as you come over here and square it up, it's now changed. Absolutely fantastic. That's gorgeous. When you slow it down like that, it really becomes, you can have a quick change or a slow change. Then, now here's the best part about doing that. It's harder to perform, but it immediately sets you back up with this back on top, which is what you want because you can either go into, you know, a different cut, you know, anything like that, just to get it back to the top, pretending to do whatever, cutting it again, okay? Or what the other thing that'll happen is when you go to shoot it underneath, it'll go to the top, okay? And this is what happened in the performance. So then what you got to do is you do your double, and you're gonna do your Erd Ace again. So remember, pinky makes contact, padding of your hand. I get a little bit of space here, and I pull this back down. And as I'm pulling that down, I've already squared that up to there. If you want to take the risk, you can come up on your, and kind of show in between the fingers so that it's almost as if nothing's happening. Boom, that is there. Now, here's the tricky part. If you mess up the shot, okay, now you've got a problem where your card is underneath. So now you have to figure out a way for you to get your card back into your hand. Okay, so remember, the other way is harder to perform. It's not necessarily harder, but you can mess up. If you don't get the second slot on the first try and you get it to the top, then you're going to have to perform this little move here, which is very nice. So all you're doing is you're just showing the card, just like so, and then you're bringing it back down, and then you're bringing it back up, and you're just paintbrushing. But as you're bringing this card over, you're leaving the other one, sliding it down, and bringing this one around. Very bold. It's a very in-your-face move, which is beautiful, though, because somebody might think that you have another card there, and you just... Now, that's a Jason Marr move, so all the credit goes to him. And here's my disclaimer for anything that I do. A little bit of a public service announcement. If at any time I show a trick that anybody thinks that I should take down, video's gone. I take it down immediately. I don't mess around. I publish stuff that I watched on YouTube, and if I don't remember where I learned it, I don't know whether or not it's something that I should be teaching or not, or just in general. I got 20 people watching my videos. So if somebody doesn't like it, I take it down. That's fine. Okay, so now we've entered the final phase where you have two options again. So you've got your card back on top, either the easy way or the hard way. and you've got it over to here, and you've done your cut. The cut's always important because it shows you have movement on both sides, but it's a little subtlety that they might not realize that you're actually mixing up the deck, which is important. So then you can grab a nice little pinky break here, and as you're bringing this across, you set this on top. Now you just grab it like this, and you can do your shake. Now the shake is really nice because as you're here, they see it. As they're here, they don't. So if you're shaking it nice like this, and then you do the switch, okay, then if you do it here, as you come down, it's going to be a different card. So the hand covers, boom, it's a different card. Boom, it's a different card. So that's the idea. Coming to here. So you don't want to flash the bottom card, but you just want to give it a little bit of a shake, and as you come back and forward, it's going to change. So that is the first one, which is not bad, and it's fine. You're going to get a nice transformation out of it. Here's the second one. This is the harder one. You grab from the sides, okay? Finger here, finger here. You're giving a little bit of a bow with your finger as you go, and you're going to let it release off your thumb. As you give it a little bit of a shake, you're going to pull it back like a slingshot and shoot it. Now, this is the one that I need to practice on. This is a shooting effect. I've been doing this for a while, but sometimes I nail it. And when you nail it, it's good. It's quite impressive, to say the least. Okay, you got the queen here. Give it a little bit of a shake. And boom. See, that would have been a perfect catch. So that's what I got to work on, is the catch. So that's not too bad. Now, here's you got the closer, because you've just changed it to the 2. You have a choice. Okay? You could do a tilt move like that. Okay? Now, the nice thing about doing the tilt move is that, obviously they think that you've put the 2 in the center, but of course, you're going to bring this one back. Now, they might think that that one's still on top. So the other option that you have is you want to make this one appear as if it's turning back into the other one. Okay, and by doing so, you can put this into the actual center, just like that. Then you can go into a more advanced move for your closer to make it a little bit more fancy. Okay. Up the arm, up and over, and now the queen has emerged from beyond the beyond. So there you have it. So there's a nice little routine, a nice little transformation routine. You can either perform this if you get it down with these knacky things, because there's a lot of in-your-face visual things that you're doing here. And you could make it look the same every way, where people think, you're constantly doing a double lift. Just keep that in mind. And then you're also doing different, like with this one, you're grabbing it over here, then you're bringing it over here. So maybe they're going to catch on to that. Okay, but then you've got just the regular one here, where you're just doing the Erdnase. Okay, very nice. And you can do them fast or slow, depending on what the crowd wants. And then you've also got the last one, which is either just the shake, okay, or you've got the shot there, that one. So a lot of options for you to take into account here. There's a lot of things that you can do. Now, would I recommend that you do this as a routine? Yes. It's something that you can perform to people to give them an idea of cards changing. And if they see anything, oh well. But here's what it really, the big point about this routine is 2 things. Practice, 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 as I have been doing. And as you can see, when I nail it, it's great. When I don't, it's not. So really what it comes down to is practice it in front of a camera or a mirror. But then also, if you want to take these routines to the next level, which I plan on doing, hopefully, and then, I've been performing to people, but not in a setting where I could record. We're just talking, coworkers, things like that, where I can kind of just hang out and just show them a trick real quick, or do a routine. I'm showing people these things in public with people around me type of situations. But that's what you want to do, because if your friends or family see you mess up, they don't know. They're not really sure what's going on. You can play it off. You can have a joke. You can learn some decent patter just from kind of just experiencing it firsthand. And those particular tricks, it'll get you better at figuring out your angles and your hands and whether or not you want to do fast visual or slow visual, because those are very important distinctions. So, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you take something from what we've taught you here today. These are some really nice shifts, some color shifts, card changes. Anything you want to consider, I'll leave you with something bonus, extra, because we've got one here just like so. Okay, so now you've all seen this. You've all seen it. Ha, pacha. Okay, now of course, as you can see, you can clearly see how I've done this trick. Okay, but don't worry, because a Jesse has exposed this trick, but it wasn't me. That was another guy, a famous guy on national television. So that's my joke. If I mess that up, I'll be like, I'm not the first Jesse to mess that up, but that's okay. That's okay. So for this particular trick, just to show you something, you have a couple of different options. My recommendation would be do something, get the card here. Don't start like this, because this is a telltale sign if you're moving like this. As you're moving here, big move with a small move, grab it out of the way. Okay, from here, make sure you got a good position here. As you're shaking it, grab it. Okay, that's going to give you a better look because your finger is going to end where it started. Okay, now for the closing. Okay, for the closing, what I like to do is I like to just wrap it up into just a nice little bow, because you can put it back in the same way that you just got it. Boom, just like that. And now you just switch the cards. What other people like to do is they like to bring the deck up here, and then they'll grab this from back, and then they'll do your little spinaroo and all that stuff. Options. You got plenty of options with that one. That's a nice little standalone little shift to do. A lot of people do it. You want to have some standalone stuff. And keeping in mind that some moves, like this one, let's check the angles on it. This is a freebie because this one was given away on national television. So you don't have a deck in your hand, and you're showing this trick to somebody to the camera, okay? And you do this little subtlety here where you have your finger folded, you give it a shake, and you grab it, okay? That's going to look pretty clean as long as you're not flashing. But keep in mind, flashing with this trick is going to happen. Here's why. Look at that. You can see that if somebody's taller than you want to have this up a little bit. Okay, since I'm down here for the camera, I got to tilt it up a little bit so you don't see it, because here are the angles. Boom, exposed. Boom, exposed. 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 Like, it's really this type of trick. That is the thing that to keep in mind. Okay? So when you're doing your tricks, camera angles are something that I want to talk about, because I'm learning these tricks and I need to keep them fresh in my mind. So when I talk to you about stuff like that, it's for me. It's for me and it's for you guys. Camera angles are one thing. Visuals are another thing altogether. So if you're a new magician starting to get into things and you're watching my channel because you want a more beginner level type of approach, great. Angles. There are people who have like vanities set up, like unfolding mirrors. You have one in front of you, one here, and then that way you can see all the angles of what somebody would be seeing if they're in front of you. Okay? The other thing you can do is you can set up a camera that's beside you. You can set up cameras beside you and in front of you. That way you can record that. You can do an over-the-shoulder shot. A lot of the times what people will do if they're doing tutorial, they'll show you your view from behind. But keep in mind that if you're performing in a crowd of people, they're going to be able to see you from behind. They're going to be over your shoulder. So you either have to make a choice. And this is a distinction that a lot of people make. If you are doing something like cups and balls and you have a crowd all the way around you, somebody's going to see how your trick works. It's just going to happen. Unless you're really, really good with your sponge balls, they might miss a lot of it, but they're going to see some of the stuff, and you got to live with that. And that's okay, because people are there to be entertained. It's not necessarily about tricking them. It's about providing them with an entertainment, a good time. Just laugh it off, have a good time, practice your camera angles. Hope you got something out of this video here today. Let me know down below whether or not you liked the things that I showed you. Let me know down below if you have any ideas about how I can go about this routine, because it's not really, it's a visual routine to get people warmed up about changing cards. Then you can go into something else. Because I personally love the idea of my ambitious card routine. Okay, it's every card in the deck. Every card. Doesn't matter where it is, doesn't matter where you go with it, you're gonna find it anywhere. Okay, how about this? Into the deck it goes. Clearly it's in the center. Okay, now why don't you go ahead and mix up the cards as best as you can. Of course, that's going to be really hard to do when that card's not in there. See how that effect is slightly different, because you're not turning one card into another card, you're just presenting a different idea altogether. So keep that in mind when you're rolling your routines together, and make sure that things kind of make sense. And yeah, have a great time, have fun. That's what we're here for. Remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one, because we're going to try to get as many videos out here in December as possible, because we got stuff to do. We got stuff going on. We're going to be having, what is it called? OBS. It's been a while since I've been on OBS. There's nobody here. I'm just talking to myself. We're going to be on OBS here in a couple of days, and we're going to try to talk about some YouTube stuff. So yes, stay tuned and have a wonderful holiday. We're calling it Friendsgiving. Friendly givings. The givings. I don't know. Have a good time. And yeah, just watch this video and have a good time. Watch my other videos and have a good time. Watch other people's videos and have a good time. Just have a good time. Have fun. Just remember that. Just remember that we could all have a good time. And there's my thumb. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you today.